Munate Ravanachari Munate Ravanachari Ayoradanda Madhava Kunjabiyari Ayoradanda Madhava Kunjabiyari Vicharamharahama Vivaradari Vicharamharahama Giri Varadari Vivaradari Yashodanandana Vajayarayana Yashodanandana Vajayarayana Amunate Ravanachari Amunate Ravanachari Ayoradanda Madhava Kunjabiyari Ayoradanda Madhava Kunjabiyari Keshanavadhama Giri Varadhari Keshanavadhama Giri Varadhari O Keshanavadhama Giri Varadhari Keshanavadhama Giri Varadhari Shodana Andaya Vijayana Jana Yashodanandana Vijayana Jana Munati Ravanachari Yamunati Ravanachari Ayoradanda Madhava Kunjabiyari Ayoradanda Madhava Kunjabiyari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shiva Sati Bhakta Vrinda Jai Krishna Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shiva Sanjivo Ramata Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shiva Sanjivo Ramata Vrinda Yadvaita Arada Shiva Sanjivo Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Prabhupada 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 Sritam Prabhupada 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 Shigonita ki Krishna Balaram Giraj Maharaj ki Ishada Govinda Madhava ki Shira Prabhupada ki Kantaraja Shrimad Bhagavatam ki Ora Premanande. Excuse me, I have to drink a little. No glass then. Sorry. 2 minutes. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. En français. So we continue our reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 4, the appearance of Sri Narada, text number 3. Kasmin Yuge Pravrita Stane Va Kena Etuna Kutaham Sanshodita Krishna Kirtavan Samita Muni Kasmin Yuge Pavriteyam Kasmin Yuge Pavriteyam Staneva Kena Hetuna Staneva Kena Hetuna Kula Sanjotita Krishna Kuta Sanchodita Krishna Kritavan Samitam Muni Kritavan Samitam Muni Kasmin Yuge Pavriteyam Stanehi Kenahutana Kuta Sanjotita Krishna Kritavan Samitam Muni.
Tasmin yuge pravritaya Same vakena hetuna Vita sanchodita Krishna Vrittavan samhitam muni
Mataji. Kasmin, in which yuge period pravrita was begun. Iyam, this, stane, in the place, va, or, kena, on what? Kena, on what? Etuna, ground. Kuta, where from? Sanjotita, inspired by. Krishna, Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas. Kritavan, compile. Samitam, Vedic literatures. Munihi, the learned. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. In what period and at what place was this first begun? First, we have to know that this verse is spoken by Shaunaka Rishi. So he is speaking to Sutta Goswami. So he is asking a question. In what period and at what place was this first begun? And why was this taken up? From where did Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas, the great sage, get the inspiration to compile this literature? Purport. Because Srimad Bhagavatam is the special contribution of Srila Vyasadeva, there are so many inquiries by the learned Shaunaka Muni. It was known to them that Srila Vyasadeva had already explained the text of the Vedas in various ways up to the Mahabharata for the understanding of less intelligent women, Shudras, and fallen members of the family of twice-born men. Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendental to all of them because it has nothing to do with anything mundane. So the inquiries are very intelligent and relevant. Kasmin yuge pavriteyam stanesva kena hitunam utatsan jotita Krishna kritavan sammitam munihi. In what period and at what place was this first begun, and why was this taken up? From where did Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas, the great sage, get the inspiration to compile this literature? Omagana Timinandasya Gananjala Shalakalaisha Churuminitam Yana Tasmai Shiravinamaha. Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Stapitam Yana Bhutane Swaya Rupa Kadamajanda Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karina Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kantara Kantanamustute. Tapta Kanchana Garange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabadu Sutedevi Pranamami Hari Priye. Panchakarpatarubhyashta kripa sindhu yaiva chapatitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, we are in the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, where the author, Srila Vyasadeva, explained how it happened that it was written, compiled, produced, and at what time, at what place. This is the historical background of the foundation of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So at this time, 5,000 years ago, the place where Bhagavatam was compiled was named after Badrinath, the place where the Lord of the bees, berries, blueberries, Badri is blueberries. That's where you find the berries because it's very high in the mountains, in the Himalayas, near, not far from Gangotri, Yamunotri, and Kedarnath, the four main dams in the Himalayan mountains. So this place is still existing in Mana, a village on top of Badrinath. You can go there from Rishikesh. You climb up for a month or one day, maybe by bus. And you will find the Vyasadeva cave. Because at this place, there is close to the still existing source of the Sarasvati River that disappear after and becomes invisible to the human mundane point of view. So that's the place where very high in the Himalayan mountains where Vyasadeva compiled this literature. At this time, where it was compiled, it was knowledge was receiving by the process of hearing. So in our Krishna consciousness movement, we can see also how the process of hearing is so much important. Hearing with attention makes the mind prone to smaranam, to remember the pastime of Krishna. That's the aim. Of course, the mind is for bad quality. Chanchalam is like a monkey on the branch, going from here to there. The mind is also very strong like an elephant and very brazen, obstinate, and also is attached to so many things. So many things are here. It's like a sponge. According to what context, ambience, atmosphere you put it, it will absorb these qualities. So the goal of the spiritual life is to make the sponge-like mind imbibed with rasa, nectar, coming from the realization of the holy name and the pastime of Lord Krishna. So this sage is an incarnation, is Vishnu Tattva. Krishna Dvaipaya Vyas is Vishnu Tattva, but he plays the role of someone who is in charge of compiling the bone of the Vedic inheritance. Heritage, how you say? I don't know in English. Heritage, Vedic. So he is in charge also of sorting what is beneficial and good for the welfare of the humanity at large in the future. because he is Trikalaga, he is knower of the past, present, and future. Now we could see that the people in Kali Yuga will be very afflicted by so many problems, and that were not or quasi inexistent in the Dvapara Yuga and the Yuga where the Vedic culture was existing. So we could see that people will have no memory. That's the main argument that pushed Srila Vyasadeva to engrave and make a compilation. Because when you can hear and record just in one stroke, there's no need of books or hard drive or like that. But if your memory is not able to memorize, then there's a problem. Then you need a support so that the knowledge or something you want to transmit to others may not fade away. So he invented this system of writing in some, the booklets at this time were like a piece of wood, written and attached by 2 strings. And you will, not exactly page, but more or less equivalent. And one verse after one verse, one piece of wood, another like that. So books were like, in the past, programmation cards with Pascal on this system when it was at the beginning of the computers. We were using cards. And so you will go with a wallet with your program for the machine to read it. So in a similar way, Vyas invented this system of scriptures. And of course, when you write and you put on a support, you cannot give the whole of the... It's difficult to print the whole of the Vedic knowledge in booklets like that little. But now it's easy because we have many computerized systems and like that. You can produce so many, they are producing junk stuff like anything. But at the time, it was not so easy to invent and produce books. And first of all, to make a compilation without any support, just in your mind. Of course, Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas is the mastermind of everyone. And you have no problem to make a compilation. And to get inspiration to produce this, he arranged this pastime where he make a first compilation, different Puranas, Mahabharata especially, was existing also, Ramayana was existing at this time. And here Srila Prabhupada explained that Mahabharata is for the less intelligent people, women, Shudra, and fallen members of the Brahmanas. So this is written on the point of view of the normal Vedic society, which doesn't exist anymore in the West. So it is understood by these words that we are pertaining to these categories of Shudra, women, and less intelligent people. So Mahabharata is for us also. And Srila Vyasadeva inserted in the middle of the Mahabharata this portion of Bhagavad Gita, which is practically the basis for all spiritualists. So Bhagavad Gita is the ABC for Bhakti Yogi. He emphasizes a lot about Bhakti, a lot of verse speaks about Bhakti, but doesn't exactly define what is Bhakti. Bhagavad Gita puts the light on Bhakti, but it's not scrutinizingly analyzed like the 6 Goswami of Vrindavan did. So it gives a general teaching for all kinds of yogis, Yogis interested by supernatural power, yogis interested just in moksha, and also people interested in heavenly planets. Those who are overcome with material desire, they will find some piety just by reading Bhagavad Gita, what to speak of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is considered like the post-grad studies of the Vedic literature, which is condensed in Bhagavad Gita, and which can be better understood when you see the frame of the historical frame of the Vedic culture that is described in Mahabharata, also in the Ramayana. So these texts are easy to read because they are presented in a way of stories. And of course, a lot of people were less intelligent. The Brahmins were not so much numerous. Most of people were Vaishya and Shudras, walking the forest, walking in the Himalayan mountains. We work the forest, the products, or tilling the land and cultivating the soil. Most of people in India were doing that. They were making their riches from the cows, the soil, the cultivation of the of the ground like that. That was the main. So these people were classified as less intelligent, Vaishyas, Shudras, women. So Mahabharata is something that the devotee have to know at least, and maybe to some details are also interesting for the devotees to know. So Srimad Bhagavatam is here described by Srila Prabhupada as being transcendental to all the Vedic scriptures. Because when Srila Vyasadeva compiled the scriptures, he divided the Puranas. There were 18 main Puranas. There is also Upa Puranas, some other portion. But the main Puranas were divided in 6 for those in the mode of ignorance, 6 for the mode of those in the mode of passion, and 6 for those in the mode of goodness. So when we read some of the Puranas, they all have the same scheme or skeleton. Let's say like that they speak about the creation, second creation, different stories, and stories of some virtuous kings, but mostly the biggest part of the Vedas they speak about establishing the Vedic society, Varnashram Dharma, and how to advance and have a good standard of morality. So the aim is more or less promoting people to higher morality. It means the future of the people will be more in the heavenly planets or in the plane of goodness on this earth. So for those who are really interested in something more than moksha, or what's going on in the spiritual planet, the Vaikuntha, and especially Goloka Vrindavan, then for them the Srimad Bhagavatam is produced. Like in the Upanishad, there is 108 main Upanishad, and if you read them, most of them are emphasizing for moksha, for liberation, and a few of them are hinting at devotional process. And Srila Prabhupada chose Sri Ishopanishad to explain that after taking away the mist, the fog of the Brahmajyoti, if you have some knowledge of the personality of Godhead and some good relationship, devotional relationship with him, you can see his face behind the fog of the Brahmajyoti. So you mean to transcend. Brahmajyoti is already transcendental to heavenly planets and Earth and all sense gratification system. But transcendental to the Brahmajyoti is the Vaikuntha planets and the core, which is Goloka Vrindavan. So Srimad Bhagavatam speaks a lot about those who are interested in the Vaikuntha planets, are imbued with the mood of awe and veneration. And a small portion of the Bhagavatam at the end is describing the Samam Banan, like the name of the book, and is describing the pastime of Lord Krishna and the Gopa, and the Gopis, and the Vrajbasi. So, from this we have to understand that the knowledge that was given by the six Goswamis of Vrindavan is even transcendental to Srimad Bhagavatam, if we can speak like that, because it deals more exactly with what the color of the rasas that are exchanged in the core of the spiritual world in Goloka Vrindavan. Or Vrajbasi interacts with Krishna and in between themselves. This is more explained by the literature left by the six Goswami. So those who are really interested by Radha Krishna, they must read those books also. And the Chaitanya Charitamrita, of course, which is the key to enter into the literature left by the six Goswami, the same way that Gaunitai is the key to understand the mystery of Radha Krishna, that we can hardly explain to the visitor or common people who come to visit. Nice statues, nice worship, nice this. But to understand Radha Krishna is not so easy, and it requires a heavily purified mind in order to grasp the purport of the pastime and the relationship in between Radha and Krishna. So Vyasadeva is, of course, aware of that. And in the world of the Veda, he didn't describe that much devotional relationship of the Lord with his intimate devotees. So that's why he keeps a little insatisfaction in his heart when he have made the world of the compilation. And that's where the appearance of Sri Narada Muni, that the context where Narada Muni explained to him why the satisfaction of the heart is important in spiritual life, because there is some joy in it. When you press an orange, there is some rasa. Rasa is convey a lot of meanings. It is the taste, but not of a fruit, or the taste of the fruit of devotional service. So this is what brings some satisfaction to the heart of the devotee. So, so we come up to a point that is not evidently shown in the verse, but that you can deduce, because Vyas, even after studying and compiling the whole of the Vedic literature, he was not fully satisfied. So he was sensing it, and he asked Narada Muni, what is the cause? Narada Muni explained that because when we study scrutinizingly the world of the Vedic literature, uh, we have to develop some taste of it, and especially in the pastime of the of Radha and Krishna, the taste is the sweetness is as its maximum. So to be happy on the long run term in spiritual life, it is understood that we have to have some rasa, some nice realization about how Vrindavan is working, or how it's in Vaikuntha, or it is working. So this sweetness is not available in those who are merging in the Brahmajyoti. This sweetness is not available for those who want a super nice sense gratification, even in the plane of super goodness, in the super planet of the heavenly planets, heavenly planets. A lot of the scripture, be it biblic or Quranic or Judaistic, Torah or Vedic, speaks about the benefit and the joys you can get when you are super pious and you can get access, can have access in these super planets of the heavenly world. But it is compared to a drop of the nectar that you can taste when you develop some relationship with Radha Krishna. And this is not evidently displayed in the world of the Vedic literature, but it has to be scrutinizingly analyzed. That's what Rupa and Sanatana and the six Goswami did. Nana Shastra Vicharane Karipurno Sandharma Samtapako Radha Krishna. No, c'est pas ça. He explained that Rupa Goswami analyzed with great care and attention the world of the Vedic scripture in order to establish some eternal religious principle for the benefit of humankind at large. And they are worshipped in the three worlds because they themselves worship Radha Krishna. So the satisfaction also, it is important to get some satisfaction in our spiritual life, because that gives maturity to your devotional service. Otherwise, studies can be dry and like the jnani, it is described as a dry process. Where is the juice of studying so many scriptures? So that's what Vyasadeva did. He studied a lot of scripture and he was feeling a little dry. So the solution is have some taste. So Srila Prabhupada introduced a lot of things that were inherent to the Vedic literature, Vedic way of life, adding the spices of Radha Krishna pastimes and taste to get from it. Of course, this taste is not of this world, is not perceivable by the gross material senses. Ataksi Krishna namadina bhavet indriyani. The material senses are fit to capture what the gross senses can grasp. For the spiritual senses to taste the spiritual taste, you need to saturate the senses with, and the mind, especially the mind, have to be saturated like a sponge with spiritual sweetness. So sweetness is available in the devotional service through nice deities, nice prashadam, nice stories, nice books, nice classes, and we should have some nice activity. If we cannot, and we are entangled in modern society, we can earn some money and make our temple, our house like a temple. and you use your abilities as much as possible to invite sadhus in your home and to maintain a spiritual atmosphere in where you are living. Not so easy. You have to fight against a lot of current. The flow of Kali Yuga is moving everything and everyone downstream in the mud of Kali. So not so easy to run a contresens. I don't know the term in English. When you have a flow and you go up, not so easy. When you have a tide and you have currents that makes you drive away from the beach to come back, sometimes you have to really push to make it. So similarly in Kali Yuga, not so easy to establish a temple in your house. That's why at some point of your life, you have to take shelter of a temple or something. A temple is like a fort where you are protected. So a class of a famous sadhu, he was explaining that you have 4 ashram and they are all fortress to help you fight the Kali Yuga influence. Brahmachari, Grihastha. So Grihastha, most of people are in 99.99% of people are Grihastha or should be Grihastha. So the fortress of the Grihastha ashram is there, and the wife is the commander of this fort. So the devotee have at all kind of endeavor to maintain their ashram, because that's a shield, their protection against the tide of Kali Yuga by any means. That's the most. There is so many rules in the Grihastha ashram, but the first rule is keep your ashram safe. If your ashram exposed in Grihastha ashram, then you are not protected. Then you don't benefit of the protection. The wife goes, the man goes, they have to earn their money, the children are there in between. It's very risky, and that a lot of devotees are confronted with this, because in Kali Yuga, which marriage is stable nowadays? You could speak of marriage in the 50 years ago. Nowadays, people are cohabitating with someone. Marriage is becoming a nightmare of the past. It's a nightmare for the people. I don't want to engage myself with such a person. They do sex, but they don't produce children. Or if they produce, when there is problem, the wife has to take care, and she cannot, then the state comes, and we are helped by the income, by some Lakshmi given from the government, like that. So that's the situation nowadays in Kali Yuga. And those who want to be devoted to Radha Krishna, they have to take a lot of endeavor to protect their spiritual life. Like I'm dealing with roses and like that, I spend a lot of time to protect them. There's a lot of things. There's deers, there is pigs, hogs. You have bugs, you have too much cold, too much humidity, then mushroom, and you have to do treatment. You have to water, of course, you have to water. If you don't water, nothing. Spiritual lives, you have to water. So a lot of protection have to be there in spiritual life. You have to make, although it's not really bhakti, but It is compulsory in order to be able to develop bhakti. So these things have to be done by all kinds of spiritualists, but also by the devotee for being at ease to cultivate bhakti. Bhakti is another stage. It's the ingredients of spiritual life that make you attached to the lotus feet of Krishna and desiring more and more mercy, loba, to cultivate this aspiration to get some more mercy because we feel fallen. We feel nothing. This is the humility of the devotee. In order to be able to attract the mercy of Krishna, you have to be able. When you do Sankirtan, book distribution, if you are not able to be mild and humble, people will throw you away, smash the door. No, I don't care. Because there is some sense of ego and sense of being superior because you have Bhagavad Gita. Oh, I'm so big. This mentality, you cannot seduce people and attract their attention, nor attract the attention of Krishna and seduce Krishna. Mahaprabhu was seduced and broken his heart when he heard that Sanatana Goswami was coming from by the path on the beach because he was diseased on the skin. So he will go away from the main path for the Brahmanas to go and go back for worshipping Lord Jagannath. So he will take the path to the hot sands. And in India, it's quite hot. And when you walk on dry sand, you can burn yourself. So he had some sores on the feet. Mahaprabhu saw that. He said, why, Sanatana, why you go this path? You are breaking my heart with your humility, or you should not do that. So after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Sanatana, and he was horrified because he was contaminated. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cured him. And he was astonished afterwards because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't want him to continue to go to this path. So he did this pastime to show how he was pleased by the humility of Sanatana Goswami. Lord Brahma also, when he performed tapas, he asked the boon not to be puffed up and to think that he is the creator of all these planets and bodies of people and like that. So he didn't want to be the author. When we think we are the author, it means we are not humble because we put ourselves first, not Krishna first. Then Sankirtan, you don't do nothing. It becomes painful. So Krishna is sensitive to this aspect, to be very humble toward the people in order to be able to preach. Because after all, we are ourselves mendicants. We are mendicants in the sense that we pray for the mercy and we want to keep this mentality. So when we go door to door, we ask people to take the book. Please print the books. Like that. With this humility, you can seduce the conditioned souls that are astonished to see those kind of mendicants that are the devotees. Devotees are mendicants. Brahmachari are mendicants in India. Of course, it's not ordinary mendicants because you carry Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes people they need to be preached. Yeah, Angels, sometimes they come on this earth, but they are disguised. I would say, I'm not an angel, but I do the job of an angel. This is a book. It speaks about this. So people who were, they would approve, yeah. This kind of mendicant is not easily met in your life. To meet a Sankirtan devotee in your life is a good boon. Most of Diva, the living entities, are rotting in this material world, and they are obliged to circulate in the sense gratifying process, then karma, then again sense gratifying samsara, no end. So to find a devotee like here, Vyasadeva was thinking how to make a compilation in order for the people to grasp the essence of the Vedic knowledge. So that's a big enterprise that he did. And what Six Goswami did also is the same, but directed directly to Radhakrishna. Whilst here Vyasadeva, he makes a general compilation in order to interest people to devotional service. And at the end, a summon bhavan for Radhakrishna. This is the introduction, but not the details are mentioned. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the key to understand the details in the core of the spiritual world. Not just the Mamajyoti, the Vaikuntha, the atmosphere, Lakshmi Narayan, Vishnu, Lakshmi, that are mainly worshipped in the classical India. You can see that in India, the south have not been so much troubled by the invaders. The Chinese, the Unas, the Muslims, the Yavana, Mlecha, or the English people, lastly. So much invader from the end of Kurukshetra. So Arjuna was right in his arguments at the beginning of Bhagavad Gita when he could foresee, but we will break the continuation of Varnashram society. He said that to Krishna. Krishna didn't say no. He didn't say nothing. He knew. He knew the mammoth of Vedic civilization would collapse. But even a dead mammoth is have some value. You can see there was a mammoth here, and there is some tusks, isn't it? So tusks, ivory, it's a lot of money. It's a lot, very valuable. So the remnants of Vedic literature is like the tusk of the dead elephant. Srimad Bhagavatam is the treasure of the Vedic mammoth that is still existing and still valuable. So like that, India is able to produce, even after Vedic literature, Vedic civilization have been lost, to produce some remnants, and the most important is Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, you have the old temple, you have the old Madanikas, the statue of nice woman, heavenly planets, heavenly everything in South India, mainly in South India because it had not been destroyed. That's why you can see that the Vedic arrangement have been mainly kept in South India because the invader didn't destroy so much. They didn't come. So most of people in South India are dedicated to Lakshmi Narayan, Lord Nishingadev, or Sitaram, mostly. Those on the north, it's very some little places that have been saved, like Jaipur, Mathura, Vrindavan, where you have plenty devotees till yet. But Radha Krishna devotees not so much. The north of India have been much, especially after the Westerners came, they influenced a lot of the Indians. So Vedic culture is being lost mostly in the north of India, but is being revived little by little by the preaching of Srila Prabhupada and his followers. And so now the importance of the preaching in India is becoming a big wave. No one knows where this tsunami will go and destroy the Kali for some time. This is the plan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So nobody can stop this movement because it is the essence, it is the core desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so that people have knowledge of Radha Krishna. But like Rupa Goswami says, devotional service is rarely achieved. It's not so easy. Other kind of liberations, form like the laws of Krishna or in Vaikuntha, is more easily available. Brahmajyoti, heavenly planets, even more available. But Radha Krishna is not so easy and not so cheap, and it will take mostly more than one lifetime to progress and understand. When will I be, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is singing in one of his songs, when will I be so anxious to understand the literature of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan? Where will I have this taste? When will that day come when I will be able to chant purely the holy name? Kobe home bono se dina amar. Quand est-ce que j'oublierai le manque de goût pour chanter Hare Krishna? Donc ce goût, on doit l'entretenir et le développer. To this taste. When will I be able to taste the pure holy name? When will I be able to forget and forever my apparent offenses? When will I be able to appreciate the association of the devotee to the utmost platform? So this is also our prayer when we chant Hare Krishna. When will I be able to get rid of the offenses? Main offenses for experienced devotees is an inattention. All the other are more or less on the past, on the pocket. But inattention is a big problem in our bhajan. Because one day, if you want to relish the pastime of Lord Krishna, Radha Krishna, it is practically compulsory to have a fixed mind in order to be able to remember the pastime, what's going on in the spiritual world. That's why the Astakaliya Lila have been written by Krishnadas Kaviraj, mainly, in another book, on Chaitanya Charitamrita, where we can remember what's doing Krishna, Radha and Krishna at this time of the day. So that means you have to have a fixed mind, equipoised mind, in order to do that. So the chanting of Hare Krishna allows, little by little, your mind to become peaceful and being able to concentrate. Not so easy, but it's possible, but it requires a lot of determination, and we have to know also the target, the end. We have maybe some question or commentary about this, but loudly. I will read again the text. Kasmin yuge pravriteyam stane vakena hituna kuta sanchodita Krishna kritavan samitam munihi In what period and at what place was this first begun, and why was this taken up? From where did Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas, the great sage, get the inspiration to compile this literature? Antara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Shri Prabhupada ki.